I'm Larry O'Brien of ARC. I'm part of the cybersecurity team and also the smart cities and infrastructure team at ARC. Been with ARC for a little while, since 1993. So we're here today to talk about the convergence of cybersecurity and safety. Process safety is part of that, but not exclusively process safety. And I'll get into that a little bit more. We have some good speakers here, great speakers here, and some great panelists too. So I have a couple of slides to start off with to say why we're here. Was anybody here Monday for the panel discussion we had on convergence? Okay. So that's good, actually. So this is all fresh material for you. We had a panel discussion on Monday afternoon about this very topic that lasted for about an hour and a half. It was pure panel discussion, so there's no shortage of stuff to talk about in this topic. So why convergence of safety and cybersecurity? We see that safety and cybersecurity are beginning to share knowledge across their respective disciplines. The goal is to reduce risk, prevent incidents, and protect lives, which is most important. Probably what started this discussion was the Triton Trisis malware attack, which I'm sure most of you have probably heard of by now, which was an attack on a process safety system on an unnamed Middle Eastern petrochemical facility that happened a couple of years ago, which fortunately resulted in the safe shutdown of the plant. But then it became pretty obvious that process safety systems were no longer immune from cyber attack, which opened up a much broader discussion on the role of safety in cybersecurity. The other thing I think that's worth bringing up is that in addition to process safety systems, which some of the cybersecurity suppliers refer to as undocumented systems, which I think is because they're not really systems that they paid much attention to until now. A lot of the attention has been given to DCSs and PLCs and sort of conventional, control system kind of stuff. So safety systems really exist outside of the basic process control system, but there's lots of other systems that exist outside of that base, outside of that core DCS and PLC architecture, I think, that also fall under this category. Things like fire and gas detection systems, terminal automation systems, oil movement and storage systems. So in addition to process safety, there's other systems that impact safety that I think we should also talk about here. We're going to talk about some of that. The other thing we're going to talk about is maybe sharing knowledge across disciplines. So I'm a firm believer that when you share knowledge across disciplines, that's where real innovation happens. So now we're starting to see things like knowledge from the world of process safety being applied to the world of cybersecurity, things like HAZOP and LOPA and what we call cyber process hazard analysis, or PHA. So we're starting to see some activity there as well, and we'll talk a little bit about that today. In fact, I think we have one presentation that's very focused on that topic today. Standards is another dimension of this, and we are starting to see cooperation between ISA IEC 62443 standards and IEC 61511 standards as far as cooperation between safety and cybersecurity there. To me, our mission here is to educate the end users and raise awareness. So if you learn some new things and you get some practical advice that you get to take back to your plants with you after we're done here, then we have definitely done our jobs. So that's all I'm going to say right now. I don't want to take too much away from the other speakers, so I'd like to go ahead and introduce our first speaker.